Daniel here for Tabletop for One. Please join me at the table as I unbox Mr. President. And I thank you for joining me for this unboxing of Mr. President, the American Presidency from 2001 to 2020, designed by Billingsley and published by GMT Games. Now, I was one of the P500 pre-order backers for this game. Been looking forward to it. It's one of those games where I don't know when I'll actually get to play this. It's like an 8 to 12 hour playtime, but I do want to play it at least once in my life just for the experience, and we'll have to see how it is. And on the back here it says Mr. President is a historical game about governing as the President of the United States in the early 21st century. It begins after you've been elected. It's about sitting in the chair and trying to advance your agenda while navigating ongoing crises, political enemies, public opinion, your relations with Congress and the press, and keeping your country secure in a world of rival nations and agendas that just seem to keep blowing up around you. Mr. President is a resource management game where you have never enough resources to achieve your entire agenda, and the path you take through an always unpredictable storyline rests on the choices you make. At the heart of Mr. President are 180 crisis cards that help create, not completely control, the storyline for each game. The game board allows you to see and track the domestic and world situations as the story evolves. This game is dynamic, deep, and immersive, which will frustrate and delight the solitaire player. There are no cooperative rules, but the game is great fun with 2 to 4 friends playing together to forge their way in the world. With the cards in the mix and the multiple subsystems representing the U.S. economy, Congress, Homeland Security, the press, presidential prestige, Russia, China, hostile rogue states, and staunch allies, no 2 games of Mr. President will ever play remotely the same. All right, so sounds pretty awesome. You'll see down here in the corner, it is a 1-player game, 8 to 12 hours, and about medium level complexity. From what I hear, it actually isn't that complex. There's just a lot of moving parts. But we'll go ahead and check it out here. And so there's a letter here from the predecessor, the previous president. And so it just kind of gives you an idea of where to start. It says, first read the White House document titled How to Play, and so on. So that's kind of cool. Looks really neat. And so we have the turn sequence flipbook here. The How to Play. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at all these books. Wow. Let's see. We got How to Play, Governing Manual, Domestic Charts, World Charts, Ally and Rogue States, World Peer Russian Acts, World Peer China Acts, Presidential Briefing, Examples of Play, Scenarios, and then the Turn Sequence book. Wow, I'm not going to look at all these books in this video. I might just flip through them. We'll look at the How to Play here. So it gives you an introduction here and how to set up the different boards. You have the main board here and the main sideboard. This thing's going to take up a massive amount of real estate, isn't it? Then it has the turn sequence. Here's the How to Play. You have the turn sequence, activations of different things, final activations, and then end of turn. And so it explains some of the turns, the turn sequence flipbook, master actions, and other things, crisis chits and crisis cards, charts and tables, how to run the tracks, and then winning and losing. And so you win by amassing legacy points if you use the core sandbox scenario. And then at the end of your time in the office, you'll compare to your predecessors. And then losing, if you fail to gain enough legacy points and you complete your final term in office, but you fail to live up to your own expectations and potentials. Interesting. And good luck. All right, so just going to kind of flip through. Oh my goodness, look at that table of contents there. There's a lot of stuff going on here. So they got basic concepts, the different chits and what they do, different parts of the board. Wow. There is a lot to this game. Well, you probably already know if you see my posts on this, but I'm never likely to make a tutorial solo playthrough for this game. I can't imagine having to edit 8 to 12 hours of video footage. It would actually probably be more like 20 hours of video footage, and that would take me probably a month to edit. Yeah, not gonna happen. I never have enough time to spend that much time on one game anyways. All right, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of skip these books here. A lot of information. And then we have the turn sequence flip book here. It's a nice spiral bound book. And so it explains how these move along on the tracks and the activations. Wow, there's so much information. And this is only a medium complexity game. I mean, I guess that's possible. There's just so much information here. Wow. I would imagine that a lot of the actual play is very intuitive. And you just look to some of the stuff as reference. All right, and so we have some chit boards here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Lots of different stuff here. Terror groups, China. Wow, look at all these. Trade. Keeping these sorted is going to be a little bit of a difficulty. You got war stuff here. Iran, crises, and other things. And there's one more here. Civil war, public priority, and other things. Wow. I mean, honestly, those chits look well done, well designed, and have a lot of clear information. So that's kind of nice. And so here are some cheat sheets for different master actions here. Diplomatic, military, presidential, and domestic. And they're double-sided. And then here we go. Got one of, oh, this is a small board here. Oh, here's another board. and then here are the fold-out boards. Oh my goodness. I'll show these in a second here, but it's like a book. You see how much that is. And then we have a ton of cards here. 3 decks of cards and a couple dice. All right. And so these look like this is a war board where you're going to keep track of certain things. And these are other things, civil wars, terror groups, rogue states, tension markers, and stuff like that. All right. So let's go ahead and check out this board here. Wow. Look how beautiful it is. It's actually a really good looking board. Sorry, I hit the camera there. Now this is an 8-fold board. And this actually doesn't take up my whole table, so that's kind of something. But I mean, that's just one board here. And it looks pretty good. You can see the variety of different areas here. You got all the different countries and stuff. Here, I'll fold these over so you can see some of them there. Yeah, it looks really good. A lot of information, a lot of small print. So I would imagine that it'll be a little bit difficult for me to read with my failing eyes and all, but that's okay. And then we have this board here. I actually think it'll mostly fit on my table. I don't know. We'll have to see. Definitely wouldn't fit on camera. But yeah, everything looks good. All right. All right, and so we'll check out some of these cards here. There's quite a bit of cards. And so you can see here, it labels what it is at the bottom here. So these are exceptional White House resources. Got natural disasters. So a bunch of those. Terrorism events. And let's see, we got cascading events. Wow. There's a lot of cards, a lot of reading on here. So looks like it's pretty straightforward. It tells you where to place the counter and what to do, and you can spend action points to do certain things. Yeah, everything looks pretty clear. It's just a lot of information. And so the rest of these here are straight up event cards. So they're going to do a variety of different things. It tells you at the bottom here, like the title. So this is domestic spying angers public and Congress. Public protest positions of your party radicals. Congress clashes over renewable energy policy. Street battles rage in Caracas as political opposition arms and engages. New NAFTA negotiations bring opportunity and controversy. All-out rebel assaults in Pakistan. Shanghai Cooperation Organization acts. Camp David Summit. Russian aid to North Korea. UN selects new security general. Enemies use cutting-edge technology to breach U.S. digital security. And U.S. innovation sparks new industries and a new wave of prosperity. Wow, and there's so many more that I didn't read. There's supposed to be like, what, 180 of these? Wow. And so it looks really interesting because you'll do one thing, or otherwise, it says otherwise here, you'll do this thing, and it has different effects at the bottom here. It's like I said, I just I want to experience this sometime. It'll be quite the experience, I think. And so there you have the unboxing of Mr. President, the American Presidency from 2001 to 2020 by GMT Games. Feel free to ask me any questions. I don't know what I can answer about this other than what you've seen here. Someday I will play it. I will take like a weekend and just play this, and I'll give my thoughts after that. I probably will just do a first impressions video on it, because honestly, this is going to be like a once every couple of years kind of game for me. But I'm still looking forward to it. I know a lot of you who have ordered it are also looking forward to it, and I hope you get it soon and are able to play it as well and enjoy it. So ask me anything in the comments below. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. And if you'd like to support me on Patreon, I have a link in the description. And thank you to everybody who has supported me thus far. And I thank you very much for joining me on Tabletop for One. Have a great night.